There we go. For you folks who have not been on any of the calls, if you could do me a favor and put in your first and last name, as well as your email address in the chat box. Also, if you have a doctoral credential, if you could include that as well. We'll make sure that we have you in the system and all that good stuff. Ironically, I saw your email a single sign-on, so may be able to create temporary accounts and then have those switch over.
Yep. Working on that.
Oh, good. Josh is here.
I think that's our Josh.
Right. Well, he's minimalistic compared to the rest.
Hello, everyone.
Is that Josh?
That is.
Hey, Josh.
Hi.
All right. Okay, let's see who we got. We've got one name and one email in the chat box. So your first assignment, faculty and chairs, is to put your first and last name and email address in the chat box. This is a weighted scale of 100% for this one task. All right. And there will be a punitive grading scale here. Any other academia terms you want me to throw out there?
I think you can begin whatever you want to, Jason. With some people join us, they can, they'll just join us.
All right, sounds good. All right. So thank you everybody for popping on. I know we have a pretty large group, and I'd like to just take a couple minutes just to go through who is at what campus and what position you hold there, just so I have that, and then we'll jump into some of the features and the things we can do in Campus Cafe from a faculty standpoint. Ken, do you want to guide the traffic?
Sure. Let's see who you haven't met yet. How about Dr. I? Would you like to introduce yourself, Dr. I? Your department and your campus? We'll come back to you, Dr. I. I think Michelle O'Brien, you're on. You want to talk about what department and what campus you're from?
Did you hear her?
No?
Okay, she's we're kind of echoing because we both have our computers on. So she's in Pittsfield and she works in the registrar's office.
Okay. Jill.
Hi. How is everybody? I'm Dr. Jill Maggs. I'm the Dean of Academic Affairs at the Metro campus. So I work with the faculty and the students and the staff, and I'm really excited about Campus Cafe.
Great, thank you. Dr. I, are you there? Or Dr. Ivanova?
Yeah, I just came back.
Okay. You want to introduce yourself and your campus? Your department?
Sure, I will. So my name is Dr. Ivanova. Usually they call me Dr. I. I am the chair of the medical assisting program. It means I'm supervising both programs, the degree, MA degree program, and the CMA program. So I'm really excited to join to this new Campus Cafe, and I'm hoping it's going to be much better than Sunny's.
Great, thank you. Kayla, would you like to introduce yourself and your campus? Or Nadia?
Hi, I'm Kayla Nathaniel, and I'm the assistant registrar on the Metro campus.
The assistant registrar? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Assistant registrar.
Nadia, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Nadia Ferrer, and I'm assistant registrar in Metro Campus.
Thank you, Nadia. Stacy?
Is there two of them then? Is that
Yes.
just two? Okay, got it.
There's actually three registrars. The third registrar is
Margot's not. We haven't got
Margot.
her yet.
Yeah.
Stacy, would you like to introduce yourself? Or how about Josh? Famous Josh.
Hey, guys. Thanks for inviting me today. My name's Josh. I'm the department chair for medical assisting at the Pittsfield, Massachusetts campus.
That our job?
Thank you. Margot, would you like to say hello?
In the corner. Hello. Um, my name is Margarita Simeonova, and I'm assistant register in
Great.
Metro Campus.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Stacy, are you able to say hello?
Yes, hello. I didn't know I was muted before. Good afternoon, everyone. Stacy Mungo, Metro Campus Department Chair of Business Management and Advanced Paralegal Studies.
And I think you know the rest of the cast of characters here. Darren, maybe Darren, have you been on before?
No, I have not. So my
Okay.
name is Darren Walsh. I'm the Dean of Online Education. So I help try and coordinate the online operations on all three campuses and mainly deal with Moodle training with instructors and also students. And I know I'll be working with you closely with the Moodle integration, but I'm definitely interested in the faculty module in all aspects of Campus Cafe. So thank you.
And what campus? I know you do all three campuses, but what physical campus are you at, Darren?
I work from home. I'm remote, but
Okay.
I'm closest to the Albany campus.
Okay. Gotcha. Perfect.
And I saw Andrew Wan. He's one of our instructors, I believe, right? Andrew, would you like to introduce yourself? Just your department and your campus.
Yeah.
Andrew's at the Metro Campus.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew Yuan, and can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, and thank you. And I'm teaching biology at the Metro campus of Mildred Elley College, and I'm happy to be here at the meeting for Campus Cafe.
Thank you. Is there anyone I skipped over that hasn't previously been on one of these meetings before?
I don't think so.
All right. Back to our regularly scheduled program then, Jason.
There we go. Good intro there, Andrew. I enjoyed that.
Okay.
All right, and just a reminder for any of those that came in towards the end there, if you could put your first and last name and your email address in the chat box, in the Zoom chat box, and if you have a doctorate degree, please let us know that as well in the chat box. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm gonna pull something up here on my screen. Give me just one moment. We're going to be working out of our demo environment today. So things might seem demo-y. That is on purpose. Let me move your faces over here to my other screen. And for all of you, my name is Jason Kranz. I'm the Director of Software Implementation here at Campus Cafe. I am joined by my co-pilots, Elizabeth Dean, as well as David Pearson.
Hey, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Up in here real quick. So the way that the faculty can interact with Campus Cafe, and I think that's what we're essentially trying to establish and make sure we have a good stronghold on. But once they log into Campus Cafe, this is what they will see. It is a faculty dashboard. And based off permissions, they should only be able to see the courses that they are instructing. Okay, so for example, we have Chuck Mingus here. If you know who that is, bonus points for the jazz musician. But fall 2019, I can go in, I can select a current term or a previous term, future term, etc. And you'll notice that here's all of the courses that Mr. Mingus is teaching with the course number, description, days, times, what room number, when the class starts, when it ends. You'll also see some of these double entries here. So for example, there is a course that runs from September 1st through February 11th. However, there's a double entry, meaning there could be some sort of exception in the schedule. So, maybe there's a holiday off that, you're supposed to teach, but again, it's closed, or, maybe the instructor needs to miss a day, whatever the case may be. The site here will be representative of, your 3 sites there. And then of course, how many credits the course is worth there.
So this is Darren Walsh. Can I ask a question now?
Ironically, you may.
Yeah. So the site, obviously you have Albany, Pittsfield, Metro, but we also have online courses. Is it going to be able to populate with online as well?
Yeah, that's one of the sites that got transferred over in the conversion.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. This is my demo environment. Yeah, so you guys had multiple sites in there. I think there was at least 5 from what I recall. 5 or 6 in there. Yep.
Ish. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a great question, Jared. So these are all course sites. These are all course sites, as opposed to the actual physical campuses that you have. Yep. Good point.
Great. Thank you.
And so I'm just going to pop in here to the roster. We'll use this one here today. And there's a couple things that you can do within the roster, quite a few things really. As you can see, hey, look at that, Alfred Albany. There you go, Albany in the mix. But student name, the status. Now the status, if let's say Brenda Thompson, they go in and they withdraw from the course. Well, as instructors, you may not necessarily know that, right? You come in, to your roster and then highlight it in blue and with the status of withdrawn, that will clearly show that your student is no longer in the course. Ken, I don't know if we're going to be doing images for rosters, but that certainly is a choice.
We currently don't have any right now that we can upload.
Okay.
So no.
All right. No worries. ID numbers, email, phone number, cell phone number. Some of these things can be restricted based off permissions, just depending on, what you really need for the faculty. But there, you can list certain majors or minors, when they're projected to graduate, their physical site. Probably don't need any, sort of amount due or anything like that. But just keep in mind these columns, as I'm going through them, can also be removed. So if I go up to this column visibility and I say, you know what, I don't really need to see the billing site. It's not, or the amount due, those can be purged just like that. Now, 3 typical things that faculty, members do within a student information system. And again, we are a student information system. We are not a LMS. Your LMS is Moodle. However, there will be some LMS type features in Campus Cafe, such as our gradebook, which I'll go over with you. But the first thing, obviously is attendance. So attendance is pretty easy to take. You are not a clock hour institution. So you are credit based. So basically meaning don't got to put minutes and hours in. Instead, it's, are you here or are you not here, right? So very easy way to do that. If the faculty intend on taking daily attendance, then they can simply go right to this button here, this today's attendance columns. Click that, and it will only show today's date. And the way that Campus Cafe works is it's under an assumed attendance model. So it's assumed that the student is attending unless marked absent. So if I look here at Alfred, Albany, and Kara, and Karen, and Alan, and well, Brenda's already out. But these 4 students, and I come down here and I say, yep, all 4 were in class today, and I click this attendance. Yeah, we know. It's going to assume all of them attended, and it's going to turn this date to green, representing that. Somebody landed an airplane? That's crazy. It's going to turn to green, representing that attendance has been taken that day. Okay, I'm going to uncheck that. If they are not in attendance, you're just going to simply check that box. Now, there's also attendance notes as well as comments. Attendance notes can be customized. So you may want things in here like an absent, an excused absent, a meal infraction, uniform infraction. I've also seen other schools, arrived late, left early, and sometimes that impacts whether or not that's counted as an absent, right? I don't know if that happens there. Somebody shows up for the first minute, leaves, are they counted as present or absent, right? So that could come in handy as well. And then you might, say Alfred Albany was absent. However, it was an excused absent because, the Ferrari broke down, right? Something very common for Alfred Albany. Make sense? Where'd the faces go? Oh, everybody.
So how would they take an attendance if it wasn't today? What if it was yesterday?
Yep. So we would go here to weekly attendance columns. Let me pop these off here. Weekly attendance columns. And this will allow you to essentially go through your calendar and find certain days. If I wanted to go here, the week of August 29th through September 4th, that's going to show here. Now, there's also an option in Campus Cafe where you can set it where they can only take attendance on the days that it's supposed to meet. Now, there's 2 ways to look at this. One is that's great. It locks it down. Faculty can't, go in on a Sunday and accidentally put attendance. The flip side to that is you may have, a setup there where they can make up hours. So let's say they were supposed to attend on Monday, but they, did a makeup session on a Tuesday or something that normally doesn't attend. So there's two ways to approach that. Does that make sense, Ken?
Yep.
So that is attendance. Again, it's pretty straightforward stuff. They're either here or they're not with credit-based schools. Any questions from the academia universe on attendance?
Nope, seems pretty good.
I appreciate that, Josh. All right. So the second thing that faculty members generally do are put in grades, and that's from a micro scale as well as a macro scale. So let me see if I have one with gradebook in it. Oh, which one was that? Oh, where's Kara Holbrook in? Medical assistant. Yep, this one. I'm going to head over here to medical assisting. And I know your staff over there has worked extremely hard on creating some grade books, right? So there's two things that deal with the grade book. And when I refer to grade book, I mean things like assignments, quizzes, tests, any gradable items that are going to be calculated, essentially on a weighted scale to, reach towards some sort of punitive grade at the end, right? So to do that, I'm going to come up here to gradebook roster. And what you'll see is, this is one of two layouts that we have to enter those type of grades. So for example, Alec Berg, if I wanted to go in and grade a homework assignment of his, it looked like it was a site visit that he did, or I could grade, one of his labs, etc. Just simply going to put the points in and what the earn date was, and save it. And that updates that. Oops. These are all in the past. So again, in the demo environment, it might show an error or two, but that's the idea of it. Let's say Alec Berg was supposed to turn in their homework and they were out for an excused absence. You have the ability to waive that assignment, and that will take that particular gradable item out of the algorithm that calculates towards the weighted average. Nice little feature there. And then of course you can also put in a comment. So, you might see a waived here, and then, Alec was out sick or something like that. Okay. So that's one way to put in the grades. The other way, which most faculty like a little bit better, is this gradebook grid roster. So we just looked at the gradebook roster. Now we're gonna look at the grid. Oh, you know what? Ken, I apologize. We're actually updating this grid today as we speak. So it is not viewable at the moment. I can describe it kind of. It's very similar to an Excel sheet. So for any of you tabbers out there who like to tab, that will probably be your preferred approach. And I do apologize. We're upgrading the look and feel of it today. So stand by. We'll have that soon. So that is the actual where you put in the grades, the assignments, quizzes, etc. That will produce a certain metric, numeric value, whether it's an 85.6 or a 92.7, or for students like Dave Pearson, a 61.3. And when you go in and you click grade columns here, you will see these academic points. So this is the weighted average. Now you also see the skills points. I don't believe any of your programs are practical or skills based. So you may not use the skills points. 98% of our schools are right here under this academic points. And 88.33, let's say that's a B plus in your world. You would look at that and head over here to final grade and simply put in your B plus. Now we also have a way to import the final grades from Moodle. It doesn't sound like that's necessarily the route we're going to go, but I just, for Mr. Walsh there, I wanted to let you know that we do have an import feature for that. We also have it where it can automatically put in the final grade based on whatever range these points are in. So there's a place in our software where you can actually put 85 to 90, let's say, equals a B. And if this came up as 88, it would automatically put that in as a B. Personally, as an academic myself, I don't recommend doing that. I like being able to have the actual person go in and put the final grade. That way the audit trail is there. Big sibling is watching. All right. We also have a midterm grade and a year grade. Not sure if you folks will be utilizing either one of those, but certainly the final grade is there as well. Any questions on how to enter grades?
Yes, I have a question regarding the weighting scales.
Yes.
Who is going to post the weighting scales? Because we have different grading elements for the courses.
Amanda, do you want to answer that question?
Dr. I, we have been working on entering all of our grade books into Campus Cafe with all the gradable elements that are listed in the syllabus. So when the courses are built, the grade book will be set up with the course.
Okay, thank you. It means there will be the same that what we're currently using.
Yeah, it's the same grade books that we have now, the same scales that are listed in the syllabus, and the same gradable elements that are listed in the syllabus.
Okay, thank.
Yeah, so your team, I think that was Dr.
Amanda.
Ivanova, right?
Well, Dr. I, yeah.
Dr. I. Oh, okay. Not I, doctor. No optometrist here, but Dr. Ivanova. So they've gone in and they've essentially created and replicated all the syllabi with all those points. So the faculty won't actually have to go in and adjust or attend to those. Those should already be ready to go for you.
Jason, this is Darren. I do have one other question. Do you have the availability to import grades from third-party vendors, textbook publishers?
Well, if we already have an integration with them, sure. But yeah, I mean, if they have an API that's able to send grades, it'd be something we'd have to write. That might be a billable item.
Okay.
But as long as they have an API, it can be done.
Okay, well, I can talk to Ken further. I just, because I believe, well, I know currently we have the faculty manually enter grades from, say, McGraw-Hill Connect, Cengage, things like that. And then Connect and MindTap. And I just didn't know, going to this new system, there's different publishers that do have that technology available to pass grades. And, it's something maybe we can talk to Ken further or you further. It's just something that would be nice in this day and age.
Well, wouldn't the idea, potentially be just to go right to the source, just enter it right in Campus Cafe?
Yes and no, but there's, once again, if it comes right directly from the publisher, there's less room for human error and you get exact.
I think the difficulty with that, Darren, is that not every faculty member uses Connect and uses it the same way. So there might be some inconsistencies in how it flows in. So we can talk about that later.
Yeah, no, that's just a fair question. It sounds like they have the technology, but we may not have the approach that is in a consistent format at this time. Okay, that's fair.
The challenge is always getting the faculty on board. And that's pretty consistent through all the schools we work with. And I don't mean that in, a negative connotation. I just mean it's, like you said, there might be certain faculty that are doing it this way, and then another campus might do it this way. And the hope is to, concentrate our efforts and streamline it into one way, right?
Yep.
Okay. Excuse me. Any other questions on grades or how to get them in there?
I have two questions, Jason. These
Yes.
are just viewing questions. We do not have any of the skills points. All of our objectives are under academics, so will skills just not even be?
Yeah, we can just remove that right out of the, there's actually a permission for it.
Okay, and then my other question was, when you were in that grade book, all of the grades seem to have 0 instead of -1. Is that because 0 was actually entered?
Yeah, it's in the demo environment. Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
Brenda. Let me show the faculty that. So what Brenda was referring to Might go into a different, who was it? Yep. So typically when you come in here and there is a fresh roster, nothing's been touched, right? These will actually have a -1 all across or all vertically down here. And the reason that is, I'm just gonna do this real quick. Make it easier. They're still working on it. Usually you can add a -1 to everything here. But the -1 implies that that assignment has not been graded yet. Okay, so that assignment has not been graded yet. The 0 itself really is a 0 on the assignment. So if, test Jim was supposed to come in and do a site visit here and worth 100 points and they no-showed, they would in fact get a 0, right? Whereas a -1 tells our algorithm that that assignment has not been graded yet. Good point there, Brenda. That makes sense for the team?
And also that max points are always 100.
So, that was weird. Say it again. Did anybody else hear the echo? Whoa.
I have a question for those assignments. Let's say if they are not graded at, instead of -1, can we leave it blank?
Well, it works off a algorithm. It works off an algorithm, Dr. I. So the specific algorithm that we wrote for it looks for that -1. It'd be a program change there. So I don't think that would be applicable in this scenario.
It's okay.
And Jason, the -1 does not calculate into the student's average.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep, it is. It's very similar to kind of that this waived, although the waived still keeps the denominator. But yeah, it's and there's also a report, I should say. The reason why this -1 is here and it's different from this waived is there's a report you can run that will show you what assignments have not been graded yet. And that also runs off of this -1 here. So it's a workable grade book, right? It's gets you off any sort of Excel sheets that you might be using or Google Sheets or whatnot. And again, it factors in the weighted score right there for you. So you can have the final grade and it's pretty straightforward. So hoping everybody buys into this echo that I can hear.
And let's say if the student missed some assignment and later on the student has done it, can the faculty go back and to post the grade?
Great question. So it depends on the permissions, actually. So you may have it set up where you have a final date where nobody can go, or the faculty can't go back in, and only like a registrar or a dean or a director could do it, right? Just kind of depends on your policy and that's for assignments and for final grades. So we can mirror that policy generally if you have one that restricts. But if you don't, then sure, they could always go back in and edit it.
So I think her question was specifically regarding, I don't turn in my assignment this week, but next week I turn it in, not so much after final grades have been submitted.
Oh, okay. So if it was late.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you could go in, put in the points earned, and then you have this earn date here, which you can also change to the actual turn-in date. So you might see, they got an 80 instead of a 90, because they were a week late, and you might put their earn date as a week out, and you might put late assignment or something. But yeah, you can, all the way up until the end of the cutoff date, you can go back in and change or update or, put new entries in. All right. Anybody else going to beat out Dr. I for good questions?
So far, thank you.
All right. Okay. So that was the second thing, which was grades. The third thing that we usually see is some sort of academic alerts or notes or, disruptions in classes, infractions, things like that. And that is, if I head back here to the roster, who are we going to pick on today? Let's see. Back into the first one here. Yep, Jose's getting it. So we got Jose in here. And let's say, Jose's not doing too well in class. We can head over here to the triple dots. That looks like a colon with an extra circle there. And if you can see Jose here, you can add tracking. And faculty should have, specific types of activities that they could add to a student's record. You can also assign those activities to another colleague. So for example, if I'm a faculty member, I could go in here and let's see what I have in here. Academic alert. So let's say, poor participant, Jose missed a couple classes. I could say, I want to send that in, Jose has not been in class for, 2 days in a row, something like that, right? And I want to assign this activity to somebody specific. Let's say Chris Barrett was his academic advisor. I could put that in there and submit it. And that would send that activity, and you'll see the process complete here. That will send that activity with the note over to their advisor. Okay, so if I go back into Jose's record here. Oops. Jose's record here. And look under his activities, I can see that there's an academic alert, poor participation. And if I go into that record, I can also see the note. That's really cool. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's great software. Is that something you think the faculty would take advantage of and use?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, good. I know we had some activities that came over in the conversion. I assume, now that you're kind of getting some exposure to this, we can create very granular and detailed activities going forward. In addition, just so sorry, Ken, just one sec. In addition, just so you folks know, when it goes to their advisors, it'll actually show up on the advisor's dashboard under these academic alerts as well. So it's a pretty quick and streamlined way of communication in Campus Cafe.
So you could also imagine use this if there was like tutoring that you wanted to recommend for the student. Yep. You would just assign them to a tutor and it would show up in the tutor's dashboard.
Yep. Yes, good point. Ken, are the faculty going to be able to do text messaging, or is that just kind of?
Yeah, sure. We're going to say sure for now.
Okay, we do also have text messaging, in the system. I won't go too much into a demonstration today. I think we'd want to wrap up some policy around that before we pull the trigger 100%. But just know you can also text message the class. You can also email the entire class. Let me go back here.
Yeah, if you could just show that, that would be cool.
Yep. So let's say let's say you're unexpectedly going to be out that day. You have to cancel class, let's say, or there's a snow day or something like that. You can come up here and email the entire class. You can text the entire class, or pick and choose, right? Who you want to email, who you want to text. You can also add an alert for the entire class. So just like I did individually with Jose there, if I wanted to, maybe send out a pop quiz or a I'm trying to think of a notification that next week's test has been changed to 2 weeks from now or something like that. You can also add that alert for everybody in one swoop as well. But very, very simple. Again, to email the class, you can just open that up and you'll see, it's from whoever's logged in, right? So it'd be from the instructor, to these students. You can put your message in there, attach a file if you want. A text message.
If you send a text message or an email, does that create an activity for that, Jason?
Great question. So if you email directly through this web client, that will not create the activity. If you want to have an activity created and attached to the student's record, then what you'd want to do is go to add alert. And under here, you could have an email. So usually there's under faculty, again, demo environment, but you could have, one in here that says faculty general email or something of that nature. Pick that general email, put in your note here, and then that will attach for all 5 people or all 5 students. Yep. So either way you can do that, just a different approach. Text message, again, kind of the same idea. It's going to, text message to this number, this number, this number, this number, this number, etc. And you can put your message of the actual text message in here. Semester, etc. And then of course there's reports. You're not a clock hour school, so don't have to worry about the clock hour report, but the attendance, if I ran an attendance report, it's going to show, what days Alfred Albany was absent. That's going to be highlighted in yellow. And then, obviously the days in blue here, they were in attendance. Looking pretty good here with Karen and Alan. The other one.
Hi, Jason. This is Stacy. I have a quick question.
Sure.
Is there a feature where you can do email and text at the same time, or you have to do one and then the other?
Well, ironically, a text message is an email. Just for anybody who did not know that. But you can only do one. Well, it's a good question. You can do 2 activities at one time. It would require us to open up the faculty permissions a little bit more extensive than what normally you would see, I guess. So short answer is yes, you can. Long answer is I'd have to talk with Ken and his security team to
it's a feature that we have now and that the faculty uses with Sonus.
Yeah, there, again, it's Ken, I would want to talk to you offline about some of the security issues there, or potentially. It can be done, but just want to elaborate on that a little bit more offline. Good question.
I have one more question. With the syllabus, right? So that's already added to the course.
In Moodle.
Is that does that populate the faculty's information as long as one is assigned, or do they have to go in and put in their information like we do now?
Well, when you say information, you mean like office hours or what?
Yeah, and the faculty member's name.
Oh, that should already be in the. We're gonna transfer all that from Sonus.
But I think I think when you talked about the syllabus, Jason, you were talking about the grade book information from the syllabus, not the actual syllabus itself.
Oh yeah. We don't host any of the syllabi in Campus Cafe. If that's generally in the LMS. But I mean the instructor's name will be there. You can set up office hours in Campus Cafe. You could set up. There's a few things here. Let me show you. I don't know how involved you guys want the faculty in the system, but let me show you something here. So in any faculty's profile, I'm going to head here to faculty info. There's this whole page here. And that's, whether they're full-time or part-time, day or evening, what department, whether they're, a director, a department head, if you guys do ranks, some location. Now that we also do have some HR stuff in here as well. Is this a little bit what you were thinking, Stacey? Or was it more for the curriculum?
It was more for the curriculum, but this is still good to see. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the curriculum type stuff, we reserve that generally, for your LMS. But, the metrics and the grading and the, that sort of stuff is built into the gradebook.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will open it up for general questions then from the team. Got 5 juicy minutes here. All right. Well, this has been recorded, so we will send out this video as a recap. And then, Ken, this obviously gave you some exposure as well. And, we can talk offline about certain things, faculty may or may not want going forward.
Yep.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody's time. Have a great rest of the week. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.